Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CWR Clash with Randles podcast with your host, JKD, and my co-host.
Hey, the DOC, LOVE, the Doctor of Love, waiting to give you your news and reviews, the ups and downs, and the what.
Hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna get started with AEW and NXT review, as we love to talk about AEW first. And let's go ahead and get it started with the opening matchup, the 12-man tag team matchup, the Elite versus hold on, the Elite and FTR versus the entire Dark Order. Man, it was a pretty compelling 6-on-6, man. I liked it actually a little bit.
Well, let me correct you. Not the entire Dark Order, because it seems like they always have some extra folks
That's
walking
true.
around with
That's
masks
true.
on.
That's true. However, to me, I like the matchup with the Dark Order coming over FTR and the Elite, which I actually get a match. A actually, it was a pretty good matchup.
No, I hate those big cluster of matches.
I know you do.
I don't like those
You don't have to
10
like them.
man, 12. I didn't like when Teddy Long. It's a 10-man match. No.
12-man tag. I mean, hey,
you know, it was just too much going on in the match.
that's the
Really.
purpose. That's the purpose of a match like
But
that.
I did like the where they getting ready to square Brody Lee and Paige off. It continued that storyline. It's continued the storyline between Kenny Omega and Paige
I
also.
liked it. I liked it.
So I like the continuation because of the storyline continuation. I will give it a B minus.
I give it an A straight up. So let's move on to the next. As well to talk about best friends taking on your favorite tag team, Santana and Ortiz.
Oh, very good
One
match.
thing about AEW I noticed, man, every single week they love putting tag team matches up a lot, man. Is Teddy
Yeah,
Long actually running AEW or something? Like,
you ain't lying. But they say they do have better tag team wrestling, which I'm not gonna say they have better tag team wrestling. It's just the fact that they have more tag team wrestling. They got more tag teams that they display. They don't display their tag teams good enough.
but I love the tag team matchup actually, which best friends got over Santana Ortiz, I mean, so.
And I like the way it ended, even though I don't like Best Friends.
Yeah.
I like the way it ended because it shows that Ortiz was finally trying to be serious, and they were doing their thing. They were getting ready to go for the street sweeper, and it just missed out on it. And the old boy rolled them up for the three. I mean, say that's all. It was Yuck Face rolled them up.
You mean Chuck Taylor?
Chuck Taylor rolled them up.
Love this certain Chuck Taylor, don't you? Anyway,
I don't like
sexy Chuck Taylor, man. Anyway, I give the match a B actually.
I give it a C.
Of course you would. Well, I'm not surprised. But however, let's talk about MJF. Shows off his headquarters, man. As you know that MJF is going against none other than the winner of the matchup that happened later tonight between John Moxley and
Oh Lord, I'm gonna say Sammy Guevara.
your boy Darby Allin.
Darby Allin.
However, we have to talk about Sammy Guevara actually. Before we even get to Sammy Guevara, let's talk about MJF. The fact that he's gonna have his match with who's the champ coming out of that match,
Yeah, whoever wins the match, it comes out as a champ between John Moxley and Darby Allin. Almost did it again. We'll be facing MJF at All Out,
which will happen in September. This man.
Shit.
Actually, I don't know myself. Actually, I don't know what. Either way, I'm looking forward to this matchup.
Man,
I'm really.
They kick us off the air, man.
I really swear. However, man, let's talk about MJF though. I actually
Sorry, Bantu Radio.
I'm actually rooting for MJF on this one actually. Even though
yeah, we need somebody better.
I would like for MJF to become champion. However, I feel like in a way, I feel like they're gonna have I would like for John Moxley retain it, and then have MJF win it the second time, honestly. And then if they have a third rematch, then
But I noticed they don't do second and third rematches.
That is also true.
I don't see, because why would you do the type of finish you did with Cage if you're not gonna have a rematch behind it? When you do have finishes like that, there are rematches and things you have behind that.
Yeah, but I feel like with MJF, I feel like he's gonna be the guy who's gonna get his first rematch out of the title.
I think
he seemed like a guy who's gonna get a rematch.
But this is what I feel. I think the Brian Cage thing is gonna continue. I think what's gonna happen is he's gonna help MJF win. And then it's gonna continue to Brian Cage
John
John
Moxley.
Moxley feud.
I would like it actually. So I'm looking forward to see how that goes. However, let's move on to Sammy Guevara, as you like to say.
Big dummy.
You know, I'm not a fan of Sammy Guevara, but at the same time, man, you know, I gotta respect him a little bit. You know, he had to own up to the things he's done in the past, but you know, not trying to bring up that moments. But
it was a nice segment with boy being, you know, just being real about himself and being who he is and what he's trying to do in AEW, Matt Hardy. And next thing you know, Sammy Guevara, like I said, he pissed because he made him lose last week.
That's true.
And he comes down, and Matt Hardy, being the veteran that he is, he knew he was getting ready to come up behind him. And fisticuffs came, you know, rained all over the place. It was a good fight. Matt, you know, threw him through a couple things, tried to put him out on the table.
Obviously.
But
the biggest story of the whole situation.
Yes.
Was what Sammy Guevara literally laid out Matt Hardy with a full force.
Yes.
Chair shot.
I think that adrenaline got to him, and he threw it harder than he wanted to.
Yeah, probably got tensed up a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Man,
and bust his head the hard way.
And led up to 13 stitches to be in the man's head, man.
Oh, hold on. Those of y'all who are not familiar with wrestling, we say bust somebody's head the hard way. We're talking about bust their head wide open for real, for real. We're not talking about, you know, they hit them with something and they nick their head to make the blood come out, or, you know, use fake blood. We talking about bust them open. And so he got busted open the hard way.
And can I just say, for those who are non-wrestling fans who continue to talk about how much wrestling is fake, watch the episode of AEW and watch that part.
Right.
And see how fake wrestling is.
Right. Because it's still an athletic venture. Yeah. Even though it might be predetermined, people still get torn muscles, ligaments, broken bone, concussion.
I mean, just imagine how much people say wrestling is fake, and yet people be out for injuries for like 9 months, probably, maybe. I mean, look at Britt Baker, man.
Yeah.
I for her a little bit. However, with that segment, I actually give it a. Well, with Sammy Guevara doing that, I give it a B.
I'll give it an A because sometimes when things aren't meant to be a certain way and there's a mistake, sometimes that mistake makes it even better. That's just like with the Becky Lynch thing. When Becky Lynch got punched in the face, her nose, the orbital bone got broke. It made her look like the man, really look like the man when she was standing there and she had whooped everybody's tail and had that blood running all down her face and stuff. So in this situation, I think it's one of those situations like that made Sammy Guevara look vicious and made Matt Hardy look like a sympathetic face in a situation.
So either way, let's talk about next up another tag team match player between Cody and Matt Cardona versus pretty much two members of the Dark Order.
I told you, man. How
many? Alex Randles and John Silver.
The Dark Order has more members. I never thought I'd say somebody got more members than NWO.
No, you can't say that. No, you can't say that.
Man, the Dark Order, man, have members pop up from everywhere.
You can't say that. NWO had like 22 members in their group.
They had 22 members that you knew their name. Dark Order, you might not know their name, but you just have people just popping up all over the place.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and move on real quick.
It was a really good matchup. I like the fact how Cardona obviously got
I didn't like the match, man.
Well, that's kind of true. However, I do like the fact that, but this is because of Cardona actually. I'm looking forward to how Cardona's gonna do. I don't know what his plans going to be for AEW, but man, that man's jacked. He's working out as hard as he can.
I believe he's on some supplements now. I'll put it that way.
I'm not gonna say it like that, but man, I know Zack Ryder. Well, not Zack Ryder, but Cardona, man, he's working out as hard as he can, man, and try to like be successful for his career. You know, finally, you know, be out there instead of being in the background, eating catering every single day and stuff like that. You know,
right? Because you want to see somebody who put the work in like he did, because this dude put the work in, and in the other in WWE, he didn't have nothing to show for his work. Here, hopefully, he can put the same work in, and he'll have something to show for it at least.
I mean, but let's be honest.
I would love to see him and Sean Spears together.
I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest about the real reason why in WWE why he wasn't shown as much, because he got buried.
Yeah, he got buried by John Cena.
But either way, I kind of like the matchup, which I give it a B- actually, just for Cardona actually. I'm looking forward to see what his career gonna be like actually.
Okay, but next Cardona, man, that particular match, I gave it a C-.
I feel you going. Well, I don't even want to feel that strongly about it, but I know you feel a little bit from it a little bit.
I just get tired of Dark Order. They just need to stop that group.
Okay, let's move on to something that was pretty much a shocker to some people as the debate between Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho, which you actually thought this was gonna be the end of the rivalry.
This is dumb.
You thought that the last review was gonna be the end of it. Actually,
It should have been. This is dumb.
I'm not a big fan of the debate. I don't really. We won't get back into the debate like that. But let's talk about the person who came back, who was a special, mystery moderator that had none other than the man who,
the man, the mill, the legend, ATM.
ATM. The man who actually
ATM Eric.
I mean, the man who actually, kicked off the Monday Night Wars and came to the WWE, Eric Bischoff actually. As far as Eric Bischoff being the mystery guy, I ain't gonna lie. That kind of shocked me a little bit, to be honest. But then again, at this point, 2020, like, how can I be surprised, to be honest? Because all these folks who's jumping ship from WWE to AEW, man, I know how much they want to like help out with it. So I should have never been that surprised about it though.
Right.
So
now, Orange Cassidy, he had a pretty decent promo. I didn't like the joke stuff in it, where he started talking highly intelligent about, the ocean and stuff like that. But I did kind of like that he finally kind of like showed some kind of testicular attitude when he ran his promo, but he still didn't have that fire in his promo like he should have had. So
but I would say, man, to be honest,
I did like how he got back at Jericho.
But I do like the debate a little bit. So to me, I give it an A- actually.
I'll give it a B-.
So let's get to the next matchup as we love to talk about Big Swole
against Rebel. Or like she like to call him Rebel.
Yeah, whatever. This match obviously wasn't like great.
It's not. Big Swole is not a good. I've watched her, and she's not a good wrestler. She's not. She's got a good gimmick.
I give it a C-. That's all I'm gonna say.
I just leave it at that.
That's all I gotta say.
Let's leave it at that. I'll give it a D.
Like this, look, and look, for those who listen, don't think we're trying to disrespect them at all. It's just that like we have a lot of respect for them. We do have a lot of respect for Big Swole. It's not, and trust me, I don't have a personal problem with Big Swole compared to my co-host over here. But
just throw me under the bus.
But you are the one who criticized her about her deep voice and stuff like this. However, for me, it's no disrespect for them. It's just that, man, like the way the match goes, it's like as if like you saw the world champion who's just so good, and then you have to go against like some peony. Like, why would you want to discuss that match?
Right.
Exactly. So it's no disrespect to them. It's just that.
And Reba actually she's never been great, but she's better than Big Swole.
I'm not gonna say that, but I feel like they're equally.
But man, I couldn't wake up in the morning to a woman with a voice deep in the
We're not.
Good morning, baby.
The AEW World Heavyweight Championship match between Jon Moxley and Darby Allin. This was a pretty good matchup, actually. As obviously Jon Moxley got the win. When he put the what does he call his finishing move?
The Paradigm Shield.
The Paradigm Shield.
Well, first remember he tried to go for the coffin drop, which he did hit him with it. Darby Allin toward the end, and then he tried to go for a second coffin drop. And
what's this man with the coffin drop, man? I swear, this man with the coffin drop.
What?
I mean, this man with the coffin drop. I don't see how you just. I remember when he first did the coffin drop, man. It was.
I ain't gonna lie.
That's a suicidal move, man. I wouldn't even risk him. I would not.
He's not gonna last long in wrestling.
Because the more he keep doing that move, man. The first time he did that job, like, man, I know his back got been hurt on the apron.
If he comes to WWE, if he ever comes to WWE, they're not gonna allow him to use that move.
Don't. I'm pretty sure he's not gonna go to WWE. However, this was a pretty good matchup, which obviously Moxley got the win, and I give it actually a B+ on this one. Because at least it's trying to promote like Moxley and MJF going at it.
I give it a B-.
Either way, it's still gonna end with Jon Moxley going against MJF at All Out on September 5th. Yes, September 5th. I knew
Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend. So I'm looking forward to how that match goes. Like I said, I'm going for MJF on this one.
I'm gonna roll with MJF myself, but the match itself, I like it as far as a storyline.
Yeah, I get it.
Situation. I just don't like it as a match because Jon Moxley, him being the world champion and Darby Allin being so small, it shouldn't take all that to beat Darby Allin. But I know what his gimmick is.
Okay. I mean, hey, I'm not gonna judge you. Okay, look, I'm not gonna judge you this time. As we like to move from AEW to NXT. Now NXT was it was a pretty good show. Strong beginning to me a bad ending to me. What I say. Let's talk about NXT as we kick the show off with a number one contender matchup for the NXT Women's Championship between Rhea Ripley.
Now, this is my personal opinion about.
And Dakota Kai.
This is my personal opinion about this. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about the women. I think you can put them in the opening match, but they need to stop putting them in so many opening matches because people are watching women wrestle. Because I'm not gonna lie, men draw more than women in wrestling. It's just a known fact. So they need to say those women matches for the second match or middle of the card, unless they have like a really big superstar like Sasha Banks or something.
Yeah, I get what you're saying though, man. I get what you're saying. Okay, but let's talk about this matchup though. We see the Nightmare Rhea Ripley take on Dakota Kai.
What man, dude? That was a good point, man. Anyway,
what?
Rhea Ripley, Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai deserved to win.
However, it led to Martinez, member of the Robert Stone brand, helped Kai get the win, which led to actually Ripley getting a broken nose.
Yeah, that was a matchup. That was a rough one, man. Mercedes Martinez is not a joke.
However, it led to the ending with the captain of Team Kick hit the GTK on Rhea Ripley. I think that's the part that actually broke her nose. I don't know. But I think to me, this actually was A- because that was a pretty good match, actually.
I say B plus.
It was a pretty good match.
Yeah.
Even with Mercedes like getting involved. So next up, we got the resident thick boy taking on a fellow in Australian. It will be Bronson Reed taking on Shane Thorne.
Good back and forth match.
I actually like that match. And then
it was actually a good match.
For Shane Thorne to come back to NXT for good, I really had the fact they just blew him up on Raw. But I do love the fact he coming back to NXT though. I think it was a pretty good matchup between these two actually.
I give it a B-. I thought it was really good for what it was.
For a big man versus a little man, I think it was a pretty good match actually.
They had to do something to display Bronson Reed's abilities and some kind of push him out that he needed to be pushed a little bit more.
I told you weeks back. I said weeks back.
You did.
They need to do something with Bronson Reed, and there you go, right there. I'm not gonna say he's gonna win the North American champion, but it was a good start for him though. As for me, I give it a B though. I give it a B. It was a pretty good matchup between the two. Next up, we got to talk about the NXT North American Championship qualifying match between Damian Priest, your boy, throw him up, Only Lorcan.
No, Only Lorcan, my boy.
No, I said, throw him up, Only Lorcan.
Yeah, Only Lorcan, man.
And Ridge Holland.
Hey, I can see what they see in him. He look like he's pretty rough.
Can I just say, man, the fact I was like this match, I said Damian Priest need to win. If they don't have Damian Priest win, I'm gonna be so mad. Because my first
he needed to win. You're right.
My first two picks, I was like, man, I'm so disappointed. Gargano and Balor lost and stuff. I mean, like, that really disappointed me. But like when Priest won, I was like, finally. And for them, I think I'm pretty sure it was Lorcan who got the loss, who took the fall.
Yeah, Lorcan took the fall.
Yeah, that was a smart move. Because like you want to do something with Ridge Holland. Right. I see a lot of potential in him though.
Right.
But I say if you really want to push Ridge Holland, I say give him to like next year, maybe like mid or end of next year to like have him win a championship.
Right. So, they shouldn't push him on anyway until they get big crowds back. Anyway, just big crowd. Like, they can still use him.
I'm talking about UK. That's what I'm saying. So
really,
I would say they need to have a mid card title, but I wouldn't wait on.
They don't need a mid.
But I wouldn't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't need one right now.
However, this match I give it a B. It was a pretty good triple threat match. Good solid triple threat match.
Right, B also.
So congratulations, Damian Priest. As we move on to Keith Lee taking on Cameron Grimes. Obviously, I did say the last time they had these two went at it, it was a pretty good match for the North American title. However, the fact they added Cameron Grimes to that promo, that segment with Keith Lee, I said it was irrelevant.
Right, it was.
But the fact they have a match with each other, I thought it was a pretty good matchup. Well,
it was okay.
Well,
match. It's not as good.
It wasn't great as the North American title. I take it back. It was an okay match. It was kind of solid, but it was okay.
I'm gonna go here. I'm not usually the one to give Keith Lee a score like that, but I got to give him a C- on this
Nor
one.
Kevin Grimes. Both are very
Yeah.
good athletes. However, this one is a C-. It was a down
Yeah.
actually.
I mean, like I never thought I would give either of those guys a C-.
And as we know, we do know at the end of the match, it led to Karrion Kross, man. That man went all out and got all of those members at the backstage, man. It led to next week, it will be Danny Burch.
Danny Burch, man.
Why do they keep on leaving Danny Burch out a lot, man? I don't know why. They keep on leaving Danny Burch, but Danny Burch will be taking on Karrion Kross next week on NXT. As we'll talk about Legado del Fantasma, which is, I think, one of the hottest things going on in NXT.
I like it.
Especially for the Cruiserweight division.
I like them.
Making an example out of Breezango. I mean, they tagged Tyler Breeze and Fandango, took Fandango and put him in the car, and then took him out and did a great promo, and then beat down Tyler Breeze and let them both out.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and not calling out Swerve also, I think, honestly, this...
I don't know. Will Swerve be able to wrestle Escobar? Because he got his tail whooped Monday night.
Okay, first of all, Raw Underground, that's so irrelevant for Swerve.
I know, but man, he got whooped, man.
Honestly, they just made the Hurt Business obviously try to look good. However, for me, okay, we do know Swerve is the only guy who's beaten Santos Escobar.
He is.
However, I'm pretty sure they have a title match. Obviously, they're gonna have Santos Escobar beat him.
Right.
But I feel like Santos Escobar is gonna be the guy Swerve gonna finally beat for the Cruiserweight title.
All right. A guy I don't really care too much for, Pat McAfee. He joined the announce table. He was invited by the Undisputed Era.
Before we get to that part, actually, what did you give the segment actually? From Legado del Fantasma.
Oh man, hey.
Yeah, I give it pretty much an A too. I'm looking forward to another match between Escobar and Swerve. However, yeah, back to Pat McAfee. They actually talked before before he came out, and obviously we know about the situation between Pat McAfee calling out Adam Cole, took jabs with his own show, which we thought was real. Some people thought it was real, some people thought it was a work. To me, in honest opinion, when it first happened, I thought it was real a little bit. I wasn't surprised because Adam Cole and Pat McAfee have a history with each other starting back at 2018 actually. So we do know Pat McAfee came out for commentary during the Tegan Knox and Indy Hartwell match, and obviously that was obviously a downer. And can I just say, for Indy Hartwell, she's gonna be one of those terrible heels, bro.
Right. Because that was I gave it a match.
What kind of like?
I hate to give a match an F, but that was an F.
Really, I get Indy. No offense to Indy Hartwell for she's a really tall Australian,
and not because of Tegan Knox.
It's not. It's just that Indy Hartwell's a terrible heel. Like, what kind of heel brags about they beating someone? Like, and it was like, and they beat who? It's like they beat Shotzi Blackheart. Like, Shotzi Blackheart. It's not like she's like Bailey or Sasha Banks at NXT or something like that. Like, so it wasn't much of a big deal. So she's one of those terrible heels so far. So obviously Tegan Knox got the win. I give it a D-.
I give it an F.
But continue with the Pat McAfee story. Obviously, the main event, it was the NXT Tag Team title match between Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner of your guys, Imperium, against Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish of the UE, known as the Undisputed Era. I was really disappointed for the ending of the match because I was like, in my head during the match, I was like, imagine if Alexander Wolf and Walter came, but I doubt they were gonna come because pandemic. But I was like, the fact that like when Pat McAfee started like taking jabs and all of a sudden like not Michael, but Tom Phillips, I'm gonna say. When Tom Phillips told him like kind of like chill out, and then Bell Phoenix kind of went off on him a little bit. I was like, don't tell me this man could be the reason why they lose the tag team title match. Yeah, that was gonna be the reason why. That was a terrible way to end the match.
But just keeping away from that situation for a moment, their match with Eichner and Bartel. It wasn't.
It was really good to me.
I didn't like it for some reason. It's like the energy wasn't there. The energy was there with Kyle O'Reilly.
Like if it was a regular crowd, it would have been such a.
But good match. Something. Because sometimes I wanted Eichner and Bartel to win the titles. Now I wish they hadn't won the title. They are a real boring tag team champ.
But that's because like booking and stuff like that, man. They just try to like progress other like rivalries and stuff like that, man. Like honestly, man,
they're kind of boring without
like,
their
Walter,
leader. Yeah, without Walter, they're really boring.
And don't get me wrong, they're very good athletes.
Yeah, great athletes.
They're really good athletes, man. I like the technicality between the two, man. I like the fact, they hit like they tag team,
old school tag team
exactly.
type wrestling. They are great.
I mean,
but it's like they're boring. It's all outdoors,
and they're not really. And we're sorry for saying it, but they are. To me, they're not the best. I'm not gonna say they're the worst. I'm not gonna trash them like that.
Right, they're not the worst at all.
Yeah, we're not saying because there's no such thing as the worst NXT tag team title so far, but they're not particularly the best.
It's something about them.
It's just something about them as holding the tag team title.
And we're not saying old school wrestling makes you boring because FTR was old school type wrestling.
I like them. I've always liked them.
I loved them. The Vaudevillains were old school like, and we loved them. I
thought they wouldn't take the title on the main roster. They were really if they push them, but like it's nothing against them. It just says something.
There's something missing.
It's something about them as tag team champions just missing a little bit.
But because of the way it ended, like you said,
it was the worst ending for a tag team.
The Eurobomb, because what you call the guy in the scuttlebutt with Pat McAfee, Adam Cole, and
like that was the worst ending for a tag team. I'm not gonna say tag team match.
I didn't like the end.
Tag team title match.
Just because of the ending. The ending knocked it down from maybe a B- match to a C.
It's just that it was the worst. It's just the worst way how you end the tag team title match. Because tag team title matches were never bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
But this one was really bad actually, and there was none against.
And then
none against Fish O'Reilly, Marcel Bartel, and Fabian Nightmare, but that Pat McAfee and Adam Cole rivalry though.
And then you got the aftermath.
Exactly.
Because you got them arguing and trying to pull apart, and then McAfee goes to leave and come back, and he does that Randy Orton like punt. But hey, I will say for real, if Pat McAfee punch you in the head, you pretty much going out.
Look, he kicked him in the neck a little bit, like he hit him in like the Adam's apple a little bit.
He did. He didn't try to hit him full on in the head because he know if that dude Pat McAfee kicks him in the head, he pretty much through. Like, really tell you the truth.
You talk about Randy Orton punk kid like Pat McAfee.
Yeah. Cause you see the most of it like that. I mean, like he keeps himself in good shape now. He probably could still punt if he wanted to in the NFL.
Yeah.
But I don't buy it because here it is now, August what?
What for
today is August what, 8?
Yeah. Well no, it's the 7th.
7. NXT is gonna be 2 weeks from 2 weeks from
Saturday.
Right, from Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be back from a concussion. If they were real life, he would definitely have a concussion. He wouldn't be back in time enough from that kick.
I was gonna be back, obviously.
But of course, storyline wise, he'll be back.
Honestly, to be honest, I would not want. If you're telling me this is gonna be the way Adam Cole goes out in NXT, then that.
But it has been rumbling that they're gonna be good guys.
I heard honestly they were gonna be good guys, and you could tell every match Roddy Strong had. You could tell they've been cheering for him too. Honestly, if this is the way Adam Cole's gonna go out, like I would hate to see Pat McAfee win it.
But I'll tell you what. Speaking of going out.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead.
Wait, hold on, wait. Segment plus the match.
Huh?
The match plus the segment. Great.
Oh. I put that along with the match. I didn't like it.
That was like match plus the segment. C+.
I gave it C+. The whole NXT, I gave it B-.
So with the whole show, actually, with to me,
I almost gave it a C+.
With us doing the show now, obviously AEW did get the most rating. I believe AEW was better than NXT tonight. Well, not tonight.
Both of them weren't really all that great.
I think AEW is pretty better actually. I look back at AEW, and plus based on my grades, AEW did have the better show. So with that, you can watch. And don't forget about All Out September 5th as NXT Takeover. What happened on the 22nd with the SummerSlam happened at the 23rd. Make sure you watch the Daily Network. As I don't know why people say it's still $9.99, but it's kind of free actually. So, and with that, I will end it. I have my co-host end the show with this. So,
all right. First of all, subscribe, hit that notification bell to get the notification about the program. All right, already hit those likes, and tune in next week. For we're gonna be on Bantu FM. That's Bantu FM, airpro.com. Bantu FM.
Also, we're also gonna do a little bit of a watch party also, as we'll be watching a match of SummerSlam, a SummerSlam matchup actually.
We're gonna go old school.
Yeah, and a takeover matchup too. Just promote takeover a little bit. So we'll watch a takeover and a SummerSlam matchup. As give us a little bit of suggestions. What SummerSlam do you think we should watch, and what takeover? A takeover Brooklyn or something like that matchup you want us to watch. So, and with that, it's your host JKD. All of my co-hosts have to say something else.
Goodbye. We love you. Love yourselves. Love your family. And spread it, baby.